Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing Nuke.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Eddie Hearn says Jermall Charlo and Triple G both must come to the zone in order to get a title shot, a shot at Canelo Alvarez, a shot at any other belts from the middleweight division. You also have to look at it like this. Danny Jacobs is fighting Sergey Derevyanchenko for a world title, and Demetrius Andre has a world title fight coming up as well. So if both of those guys win, plus the two belts that Canelo have, all four world titles for the middleweight division will be in-house in the zone. So what that means is Triple G and Jermall Charlo needs to go to the zone in order to get those title shots. Now let's take a look at this. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what difference does it make if Jermall Charlo or Triple G go? We don't care. You got to understand the politics of boxing and what they're trying to do and what's going to happen. We can get these fights without having to pay for pay-per-view, which is a great thing. But another thing is we need consistency from these guys. Look at Jermall Charlo, for example. He's 27-0 with 21 knockouts, and this fucking guy has only fought once in 2018. Once. He fought Hugo Centeno Jr., and that's just one fight this entire year. In 2017, he only fought once, Jorge Sebastian Hyland. That makes no fucking sense for a guy that's trying to build his name to be this hyped, and he's fighting once a year. At least with DAZN, you'll see a guy fight 2, 3, 4 times a year. That's how you build a brand, that's how you build a star, and that's how you establish a fighter. So we know exactly what we have, and we don't have as much room for guys to just be built up as hype jobs. We have legitimate guys coming in, knowing who they're fighting, when they're fighting, and understanding that landscape from that point. That's a very important thing for fighters. So a lot of people are going to start this bullshit saying, this is just another way for Canelo to duck Jermall Charlo, when we all know that's bullshit. Because, for one, Jermall Charlo has actually had negotiations with Eddie Hearn, but they haven't progressed to this point. Now that Canelo Alvarez is actually with DAZN, we'll see if that changes. Because if you don't sign with Eddie Hearn, you either sign with Golden Boy. Either way, you're with DAZN. And then on the other hand, with Triple G, he needs to find a home as well. And I'm sure he's not going to want to sign with Golden Boy. He'll much rather sign with Matchroom Boxing, who has 2 other middleweight belts. And you have to look at it like this. This is the only way to get the fights we want to see, by bringing these guys together. Unfortunately, Showtime, for whatever fucking reason, is taking forever to get these fights out. I like all boxing. I'm a fan of all boxing. I love Showtime. I love ESPN. I love DAZN. I love anything that brings me more fucking boxing and makes these fights happen easier without all the drama added to it. But you're going to hear a bullshit narrative from a lot of these fake boxing channels. I call them all fake news because these fucking channels don't come with real facts, real logic, and they don't think through shit. They just put out content that's bullshit. For example, you look at a lot of these boxing channels and they're going to say, well, this is just a way to duck guys and fighters, and they could care less about the money, and they could care less about the fact that we don't have to pay for pay-per-view for these type of fights. They're just going to say, oh, the platform is this, the platform is that. Of course they think the boxing platform is shit because they're fucking haters. They don't care. They come with the twisted race-based logic. You have to understand that at the IBFP, we don't have a race-based logic. We don't have a bias towards fighters. We enjoy the game. May the best man win, regardless of who that is, regardless of what race, ethnicity, or background the guy come from. If he's the best, then he's the fucking best. And that's all there is to it. A lot of guys say they want to see the best fight the best, but that's not true. These guys are trying to prop up an agenda, and I've noticed a lot of these fake boxing channels have been retracting their comments about DAZN and Eddie Hearn, and they've been eating their fucking words, and that's a beautiful sight to see. You have to understand that this boxing platform with Triple G coming in, who is Triple G's most likely next opponent? Jermall Charlo. And who's Jermall Charlo's? Triple G. This would set up a Triple G Jermall Charlo fight immediately. And this is what people are fucking missing. This will make that fight happen immediately. Say both of these guys go to DAZN. That fight will immediately happen. The winner gets Canelo. Simple as that. So these guys will fight the beginning of next year. Then Canelo will take another fight. And then that fight will be available. That would make fucking sense. They don't think through the logic behind this shit. You have to understand that if Jermall Charlo stays with Showtime, Triple G signs with ESPN. Who knows if that fight ever fucking happens? And these guys clearly can't get a shot at Canelo or any other middleweight world champion, assuming Danny Jacobs and Demetrius Andre win their respective bouts. So you have to look at it like this. It's a big picture and a puzzle. But assuming all those things go right, Triple G would be better suited with signing with Eddie Hearn and DAZN. And also on the reverse side, you have to look at Jermall Charlo. He's going to have to fucking make a decision. Do you move up in weight? You go to 168 where there's other open fighters on other platforms? Or do you go to DAZN and basically have your opportunity at a world title? Because if you don't and you stay at Showtime, he's going to continue his bum bashing agenda and he's going to continue to be hyped. But unfortunately, all these fake channels will come out there and report fake news and basically say that he's being ducked, when clearly that's not the fucking case. Once again, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.